Hey there, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sami Vapor Studios, the place where retro vibes and epic unboxings collide. Today, I've got something pretty cool to show you. The 3.75-inch Count Dooku figure from the Star Wars Vintage Collection. I actually got this action figure for my 26th birthday, which was back on May 28th. So yeah, we're a little past it now, but hey, better late than never, am I right? So without further ado, let's dive into this unboxing and review this action figure. Right off the bat, we've got a beautiful vintage style cardback. The front of the box is pretty damn sleek. It shows Count Dooku in all his glory with the iconic Attack of the Clones look. The figure is displayed inside the packaging with his ignited red lightsaber in hand, looking ready to duel. The card art has that classic Star Wars touch, capturing Dooku's serious face. It's like they just pulled him out of the movie and slapped him into action figure form. And on the back of the box, we get a short description of Dooku, who he is as a character. In the description it says, "Once a Jedi trained by Yoda, Count Dooku became disillusioned with the Jedi Order and thirsted for greater power, ultimately leaving the light side behind and becoming Darth Sidious's disciple, Darth Tyrannus." You've got him in one of his signature poses, using Force Lightning in one hand and holding his lightsaber in the other. A nice nod to his infamous powers, showing off his dual threat abilities. Okay, let's get this guy out of the packaging. The unboxing is pretty standard. He comes out with some plastic ties holding him in place, but it's rather a straightforward process, no excessive packaging here. And once he's free, the first thing that you notice is the lightness of the figure. But don't be fooled, he's got plenty of articulation for posing. Now the real fun begins when you start messing with his posability. This figure is highly articulated, which is awesome for recreating some of Count Dooku's more dramatic moments. You can get him into some killer poses, from standing tall, holding his lightsaber, to striking a powerful Force Lightning stance. The legs and arms move with ease, and his head can swivel pretty well. I mean, you've got the ability to place him into a classic dual pose with another Jedi, or even stage some iconic shots with the Force Lightning. The interchangeable Force Lightning hands are also a nice touch. Whether you got him charging up to attack or just holding his saber in a battle-ready stance, you're pretty much covered. One thing that I really have to give credit for is the paint application and sculpting on this figure. The face sculpt is impressively detailed for a 3.75-inch scale, and honestly, it does a solid job capturing Christopher Lee's stern, commanding expression as Count Dooku. The paintwork around the eyes is sharp, and there's a subtle wash on the hair that adds depth. But there's no major paint bleeding, and the lightsaber hilt has a nice metallic finish. And for a figure this small, Hasbro really nailed the character likeness. The soft goods cape is also another highlight. It's made from a thin, flexible fabric that drapes really well and doesn't restrict movement too much. It feels just heavy enough to give Dooku that regal Sith Lord presence without becoming a nuisance during posing. The plastic quality across the figure overall is solid. The limbs feel sturdy and not overly rubbery. And while some of the joints were a bit stiff out of the box, nothing at all felt fragile. And you can tell that this is a figure made for both display and light posing and play. And if you're someone who builds dioramas or likes dynamic shelf displays, this Count Dooku fits right in. Whether you're recreating the Geonosis Arena battle, a duel against Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker, or even putting him up against Master Yoda, the articulation and posing options give you plenty to work with. The figure's presence is strong enough so that he can stand as a centerpiece in a 3.75-inch collection, especially with that Force lightning hand and his curved hilted lightsaber posed mid-swing.
Hello, Dr. Lucian Cortex here. Don't forget to subscribe to Sami Vapor Studios.
Now let's break down the articulation on this figure. The head is on a barbell joint. Though the range of motion is somewhat limited, you can move it around, but it's not especially dynamic. The figure features ball-hinged shoulders with full rotation, hinged elbows and hinged wrists, with the joints clearly visible beneath the sleeves on both arms. The tunic features a split along the side, made from soft vinyl-like plastic. It's essentially a separate overlay piece, which is clever because it allows the new style hips to move more freely underneath. You can spread the legs outward without restriction. Articulation continues with a high swivel, decent knee joints that bend just past 90 degrees at an angle, and of course, rocker ankles for balance and dynamic posing. And for those who like to use figure stands, Count Dooku does include well-sized peg holes in the feet. They're sturdy and fully functional. In the torso, there's a ball joint with no upper torso cut, which keeps the sculpt looking clean. On his belt, there is a peg hole designed to hold his unignited lightsaber hilt, which has a small peg that fits securely into place. A nice touch for display or character-accurate poses. And hey, we haven't heard from our very own feline reviewer yet. So, Mr. Cat, what's your take on this action figure? Right, strong points on the articulation and sculpt, but clearly he's holding out for a General Grievous re-release. I appreciate the input, buddy. And just look at that sculpt. The likeness to Christopher Lee is honestly near spot on. The angled brow, the stern gaze, the beard, it's all there. They really nailed his on-screen presence. Now let's talk about the value for money and its collectability. At £19.99, the figure is on the pricier end for the 3.75-inch scale, but you do get a good balance of accessories, articulation, and sculpt accuracy. For collectors, this figure delivers on detail and character appeal. The cardback design also makes it appealing for mint-on-card display. It features a strong photo of Count Dooku mid-action, channeling lightning in one hand and gripping his saber with the other. It looks great in the bubble, so if you're a collector who prefers to keep your figures sealed, then this one's definitely shelf-worthy.
Count Dooku, portrayed by Christopher Lee, was a pivotal character in the Star Wars universe, a masterful tactician who successfully manipulated galactic events. His action figure captures his essence. From his commanding stance to the intricate details of his lightsaber. The figure's articulation allows for a multitude of poses, whether you're reenacting a duel with Yoda or displaying him as the Sith Lord he truly is. The soft goods cape adds a touch of elegance, while the overall figure stands as a testament to the craftsmanship of Star Wars collectibles. As with all Star Wars figures, this one offers great playability, and it deserves a place in your collection.
Howdy, partner! I ought to buy that action figure, it looks pretty good!
Now let's talk about the pros and cons of this action figure. The pros: excellent sculpt and likeness of Christopher Lee, great articulation for dynamic poses, and ignited lightsaber. Soft goods cape adds realism and is true to the character from Attack of the Clones. And the cons is that it's a little bit on the pricey side at £19.99. Some joints can feel stiff out of the box, and the cape can bunch up in certain poses, but it's not a deal breaker.
Hey, it's me, Vaporwave Man. I've got a few things to say about this action figure. This Count Dooku action figure radiates pure Sith energy. The posability is top tier. The lightning hand is straight up cinematic. That curved hilt saber, that's the kind of weapon that you give to a villain who doesn't just fight, he dominates with finesse. And if you're serious about your Star Wars action figure collection, Dooku's not optional, he's essential. Oh, and if you haven't yet subscribed to Sami Vapor Studios, then you guys should do it now, for justice, for retro vibes, and because no Sith or static superhero should have to face the algorithm alone.
Big shout out to Vaporwave Man for stepping in with his usual dab-powered wisdom. I appreciate you, man. And yeah, I completely agree with what he said. Count Dooku is a total beast of a figure and a seriously cool addition to any collection that I would highly recommend. So, what's the verdict? Well, this is a very awesome figure for any Star Wars fan. Whether you're adding him to a growing collection of prequel-era figures or just a casual collector looking for a cool Sith Lord to display, then Count Dooku is a solid pick. And getting this for my birthday made it even sweeter. Now he's up there with my other Star Wars figures, standing tall and looking menacing. I honestly can't recommend this figure enough. Okay, if I had to give this Count Dooku vintage collection figure a rating, then I would give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. The sculpt is fantastic, the articulation is smooth, and those interchangeable Force lightning hands are a perfect touch. The cape adds an extra layer of style, and I love how it looks on the shelf. The only downside is the price, which is a bit steep for a 3.75-inch figure, and the joints were a little bit stiff coming out of the box, but nothing too crazy. Overall, I'd say it's a great addition to any Star Wars collection. Definitely worth picking up. Well, that's all for today, folks, and if you haven't already, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, because trust me, you don't want to miss out on more of the Sami Vapor Studios content. Until then, stay vibing, stay vintage, and may the Force be with you, always. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.